Hey everybody, I want to do a short video.
Have a gear torque advantage in the small ring. You don't get a power advantage because the chain speed is decreased. So
there's a lot of gimmicks in the mountain bike industry and a lot of products coming out in an effort to give you extra save watts and more power.
Out of, I think, 2 of the 3 sizes at 4 of our global warehouses. Yeah, holy smokes. We expected to sell quite a few of these, but you guys have really...
4 global warehouses. You know, well, that explains why to do their hot dip wax and their endurance chip, it's $100 for 30 rides. One guy says he only uses it for about 6 rides because the wax gets too dirty after that. So I don't know why he's not cleaning his chain before he does it, but $100 for 30 rides, that's over $3 a ride, or $30 an application. I don't know how many rides you do on a wax dip chain. I know that training here in the hills of Malibu on my road bikes, I could only get 1 ride. I would do about 60 miles, but I'm going up Fernwood. I would do standing climbs up Fernwood the whole way to practice standing climbs. Now, it didn't result in my fastest time up Fernwood, but it was a training effort. So it was giving me what I could usually do Fernwood in less than 30 minutes. It would take maybe an extra 5 minutes to get up it standing, but it was a standing 30-minute climb. It's like doing a Stairmaster for 30 minutes versus sitting down and pedaling on an exercise bicycle. So anyway, the phone has a mind of its own. I got one of those phones with an edge on it and just keeps touching the edge and does things I don't want it to do. I don't know why they designed it like that. Really, really dumb. But anyway, lots of things are designed that are stupid that are still out there making lots of money. And this spring ring thing is on their channel now, talking about the
equal advantage over your smaller chain ring. So you have a gear torque advantage when you're in the...
So they're talking about round versus oval versus this new octagon shape, or what might have more than 8 sides. I didn't count. It looks like a stop sign, and it's absolutely ridiculous because what you're doing is you're putting the load on specific links. Every time you go to a flat spot in that chain, because it has a flat spot, I don't know, it might have a slight curve to it, but you're putting extra load on those links where the pivot point is around that octagon. Each pivot point, as you crank through it, is going to create extra load on those links and not the other ones, and hopefully you're in the right gear where it alters that pivot point on your chain evenly. But like I said, I used to do standing climbs up Fernwood, and you know, I've always done it on a round ring, and I learned to pull with my return foot, you know, so you got your power on the, let's say you go right foot forward, you're pulling slightly on the left foot back. I would say the pulling is about maybe 30% of the power at best. It's not 50-50 at all. But this helps distribute the torque evenly throughout the cycle of the chain, at least as evenly as possible. Oval rings on my mountain bikes seem to smooth out the power transfer to the rear wheel. But the point is that the chain lube is probably the single most important choice you can make to get the most efficiency out of your bike. The chain has more working parts than the whole bicycle put together. Unless it's a mountain bike, your fork has about 1,000 parts in it. Your full suspension mountain bikes I'm talking about. So except for your fork and your shock, the chain has more moving parts than anything else on your bike. So making every one of those links as efficient as possible is key. Now, talked about this endurance chip slightly. You know, you're talking about a $50 bag of wax with a $50 block of, you know, it's just carbon and different elements and wax to add to your wax. So you're at $100 for your wax that they say only gets you about 30 rides or 30 applications. I just can't believe it. Well, with 4 global warehouses to keep operating and paying rent on and things, yeah, I can see why they got to charge you $100. Because honestly, I know what's in all their stuff. I know every possible thing that they could possibly choose to put in their products. And a 1 pound bag of wax with all those elements in it, in the if you put it in the highest concentrations, which is way over and above, you're talking about $1.50 with the endurance chip. They're charging you $100 for $1.50. I'll give them the benefit of the doubt. Maybe $2, maybe, but I doubt it. I think it's under $1. The packaging probably costs as much as the actual stuff in it. And then, of course, you have to spend half your day working on your bike and setting up an area in the kitchen or the garage to do all this little laboratory stuff. I used to do it 12 years ago. That's what I resorted to. Back then, all you had was either a variety of oil-based lubes, which were very decent performers for, let's say, racing and stuff, but they didn't hold up in any weather conditions. They didn't hold up in dust. They required a ton of maintenance. Even on the cleanest road bike day, my clear oil that went on my chain at the end of a 6-hour ride was black. And I started thinking, what causes the chain to turn black? And I thought about it. And I thought about how hot it is out here. And I thought about a few other things. And basically, your clean, clear oil turns into the La Brea tar pits within 4 or 5 hours. How is that possible? That's chemistry. I'm not going to cover it in this one, but I thought about it deeply and what is causing all these factors. Now you add some organic matter to it, like dust or clay dust. Clay is organic matter. It comes from plants that are decayed. So you see why I use the La Brea tar pits reference there. If people don't know what La Brea tar pits are, out here in LA, in downtown LA, there's a park called La Brea Tar Pits, and it's where they pull the dinosaur bones out of this. Basically, it's like a pond of tar, and they've supposedly pulled out tons of animals out of this thing from the prehistoric days. And I thought about that process as well, developing my lube, and to understand all the problems with different chain lubes out there. I thought about many different industries and different situations to solve this problem once and for all. Now here's OzCycle. I'm the guy that told him to use a crock pot about 10 years ago. I said, hey man, melting candles on your stove with that 3-inch deep cast iron pan, a little bit dangerous. Why don't you spend $10 and get a crock pot? And now he's got like 100,000 subs. Good for him. But he, and I reached out to him, said, hey, why don't you try my top off formula, meaning the 5311. He deleted my comment immediately. Yeah. So, and his stuff, his stuff that he tells you to make, I've seen people use formulas based on this guy's suggestions. They don't hold up on mountain bikes. They don't hold up in wet on gravel bikes or mountain bikes or anything like that. And, you know, he rides with a bunch of old guys putting out like 150 watts on their mountain bikes or on their road bikes. Maybe 250 watts is what they're averaging or something. So, yeah, you're going to get 15,000 miles on a chain with his formula if you're an old guy putting out 200 watts. But if you're actually putting massive torque through your drivetrain, his stuff's going to fail. It's not going to hold up because doesn't have anywhere near the metal to metal separation that's required for those situations, like an e-bike. Okay, so a lot of guys are basing their formulas on this guy. I think a lot of stuff the big names are basing stuff on what he has put out there, and I was the one already doing it prior to him. I'll tell you, he had a video where he decided to go to wax. He went to his stove with a cast iron pan and 3 candles and sucked the chain in on the stove with the fire burning. And I went, wow, man, get yourself a crock pot, get yourself some wax modifiers and be a little safer about it. Don't be teaching people to do that. He deleted the video and started using Crock-Pot, and now it's 10 years later, and yeah. You can see all that comes up on my YouTube suggested feed is stuff about bikes and chain lube, and how the AI works. It just feeds you a steady stream of what you already watch, so it doesn't give you much outside the box. But anyway, I've been working on this problem since before he ever put candles in a cast iron pan. I'm the one that showed him how to use the I told him to use a Crock-Pot. So I literally said, go to Walmart and get a $10 Crock-Pot. Man, it's a lot safer. You shouldn't. And so he deleted the video. And when I asked him to try my formula, he deleted my comment. Nice guy. So a lot of gimmicks out there. A lot of things that want to take your money in large amounts for things that shouldn't cost that much. I've been in marketing for 30 years. I've noticed that products are usually, from the time you actually manufacture it to the time it gets retail, it's anywhere from 10 to 20 times the cost of manufacturing. So, I wish I could put up an image, but anything. I'm holding my pen in my hand right here. This pen that costs $1.50 at Walmart, but it probably costs 15 cents to make. And that's just the way it is. So these $100 bags of wax and endurance chips, plus the $100 Crock-Pot you got to buy from them with this, they sell you their own Crock-Pot. Probably has the right temperature and everything. That's great, but still, a regular Crock-Pot is $10 at Walmart. So you see, they've gone 10 times the cost of manufacturing that to sell you the one with their logo on it. I've been in marketing for 30 years, guys. I've seen how this works. And the only way they can get away with it is not telling you the truth entirely. I mean, their product will work decently for most people if you want to spend all that time and take your chain off. But I'm a mountain biker. I don't want to take my chain off because it's, number one, it's dangerous. And number two, I don't have time for that nonsense anymore. I'd rather be riding. My product says less time cleaning and more time riding, right on the label, ever since 2019. And that's what is the goal, is to not spend all day in the garage, spend all day on the trail. Okay, so here's my first three formulas. Where it all started, to the right, led down the mountain bike way with the Lubenschlein and then the smooth lube, and the formula 1.2 led into the whole road bike, pursuing the road bike perfection in a chain lube. And I think our 5311, I have not been able to make it any better since 2021. It is the perfect blend of everything to make it fast, smooth, quiet, long duration. If you're not 220 pounds like me, you could probably get 180 miles on a ride with it. But I suggest to put it fresh on, just in small amounts, just to re-wet it. You're adding back some stuff that evaporates away over time, and you're redistributing everything that's in there to make sure all the surfaces are covered and with fresh product. And you can even use the original formula as a top off for the 5311 for your shorter rides, say 50 to 80 mile rides. But again, it all depends on your torque and your output, what you're actually doing. If you're doing standing climbs up Fernwood on a daily basis, like I was, 30 minutes standing on the pedal in a pretty decent gear, putting massive watts through your drivetrain, you should be lubing your chain every ride anyway. If you race, there isn't a single person that races that I ever knew that didn't lube their chain before the race. Training is very similar. Why would you want to wear out your bike? Not that my chain lube wears out the chain. It's just that fresh lube is better than old, dried out lube, even if it's 2 days old. So that's just my advice. You can do what you want. A lot of people have not listened to that advice of me and done testing, like 6 years of testing on 3 or 4 rides on an application, and he gets the same chain life as I do as far as the lifespan of his chain. Meaning from the time he puts it on to the time it's worn out, he's getting many years, even not doing it every day. So for me, what it is, I love the feel of a freshly lubed chain. I can feel the difference. Maybe it's in my head, but I don't think it is. I can feel how slick and smooth it is when it's on there fresh, because there's what I call the wet phase of the wax. And I'll get into all those micro details at some point. There's a lot of stuff I can't divulge because the competition, honestly, they've been stealing my ideas since I did the Sea Otter show debuting this product right here. Their top-off formulas are not even as good as this is. And this is 10 years old now since I developed this originally. All right, I'm going to leave it there. You can see how the product looks going on the chain there. That's why we have the brush. It's very thick. It's more like a aloe vera gel consistency. And as you warm it up, it gets a little thinner. All right, so going into winter, this is the trail up at, it's called Golden Eagle Trail up north here. That's where I did a lot of my cold weather testing. You see, I was no bike tracks in the snow. It's just me out there testing back then. But anyway, going into winter, keep the bottle warm. Keep it in a warm place. So it's basically, it won't destroy the product, but it just helps it flow out of the bottle and apply better. Okay, that's why you want to keep it room temperature. Warm it up in some water if you need to. If it's not flowing correctly, easily. It does get a little thicker once you get down below 50 degrees. Okay, all right, guys, I'm going to wrap it up here. Have a great day. There's me, the first to show up at Sea Otter in 2019. There was nobody even around. That's the first day set up. A couple days early. Not a single vendor except for one way back there, I think. Anyway, very eager to get this out in the market. And thank you guys for trying the product. I know you're not going back after trying this. Thank you so much. Bye-bye.